Do you ever get to the end of the day and wonder where it went? In a world that feels like it never stops, one of the most consistent problems I hear from people is the frustration of feeling like they're never getting enough done. If this sounds like you, then I've got a question to ask you and a strategy to offer you. Hi, I'm Sara Ross, and when it comes to work, we all know that something has to change. But the challenge is work doesn't change unless we change. But when we do, then together we change work, and that's what I'm here to help you do. Yes, we have all been there. You start the day with this big, long to-do list, fully committed to getting it all done. And then you get to the end of the day and it seems like you've only crossed one thing off. This is expected once in a while, but when it feels like you're always falling behind or struggling to make any forward traction at all, not only is it incredibly discouraging, but it's also one of the main culprits to people feeling like they're stuck in the survival zone. If this describes your experience, I want you to literally pause this video and do two things for me. Step one, I want you, if you haven't already, to make a list of things that you need to get done in the day ahead, just like you normally would. And then step two, I want you to go through each task and honestly assess how long you think each will take to complete. Okay, I hope you did it, because if you end most days feeling like you didn't do enough, there is a very good chance that you have fallen mercy to the cognitive bias called the planning fallacy. So first off, a cognitive bias is this unconscious reasoning error that biases our decisions, our perceptions. They cause us to misinterpret the information from the world around us. And the planning fallacy is an example of one of those cognitive biases. It's our human tendency to overestimate how much we can get done and underestimate how long it is going to take us. So let's get back to that feeling of falling behind. In general, there are a few things that make us very bad time estimators. First, we tend to estimate how long something is going to take based on how long we believe it should take or how long we want it to take. Secondly, we tend to ignore historical data, so we fall in the same estimation traps over and over and over again. And finally, we rarely account for the time we need to actually prepare or deal with interruptions and distractions. In fact, a research study at the University of California at Irvine found that on average, it takes us about 23 minutes to get fully refocused after an interruption. So if you feel like I am picking on you, just know I am not. I am as guilty of this approach as anyone else, which is why I really wanted to find a way to address it. So the bad news is we all have biases that we fall into the mercy of, but the good news is we can consciously intercept them when we are aware of them. The strategy I want to share is called the double plus one rule. And it's as simple as it sounds. However long you believe something is going to take, double it, and then add one more unit of time. If you think something's going to take you an hour, it's likely going to take you 3. If you think an email is going to take you 15 minutes, then assume it will take you 45. 15 doubled is 30, plus 15 more minutes is 45. Now, remember that exercise I had you do at the start? I want you to simply go back through that list and apply the double plus one strategy. Next, tally up how long it would take for you to get everything done compared to the hours you have available to actually do it in a workday. Warning, you probably will not like the answer. And if you were anything like me and the audiences that I speak with, your brain will immediately try to convince you that these aren't real timelines. It's never going to take you this long, and you're going to be tempted to override the results. One of the biggest complaints in workplaces is unmanageable workloads. And while there is certainly too many priorities in almost every single workplace, we can't ignore that individually we add to this when we overcommit ourselves and our teams.